How are you? So today we will start a new session. 2247888580. Okay, so today we will see how to create a physical file. So prior to that, whatever the videos are required, I will share those videos in in a short videos kind of thing, so that it will be a bit easy to understand. And because already I've made these videos in Telugu language also, since all of you are requesting, and if you speak in English, then it would be better to understand. So that's why I'm just starting from physical file creation. Okay, so the first thing is, once we log on to our AS400 session, remember this command called WRKMBRPDM, WRKMBRPDM. So work with members using PDM tool. Okay, so PDM is nothing but a program development manager. So using that tool, we want to work with list of members. So once you type this command from the command line and hit an enter key, okay, see, if you are using this command for the first time, once you get the logins, what you have to do is, you need to configure your WRKMBRPDM command. Means, okay, so you need to press an F4 and F11. See, in this Microsoft TN5250, in this version, as and when you press an F4, the default prompt will be like this. Okay, this is the description of the command. This is the description of the command, and this is your command which you have given, and these are the place where you need to enter the values, the input values given here, and the input value description will be mentioned on the left hand side. And here you can see, if you enter some value, then this value goes into this keyword. So this file is a keyword which will contain these two values, and here mbr is a value which will contain this value, and mbr type is another keyword, means like a parameter which will contain this value. Okay, here file keyword will contain the value, will contain these two values. Okay, a single variable. Okay, and but in live systems, as and when you press an F4 function key, it will be in this mode. Okay, so the values which you are going to enter will be in the middle and the possible values that you can enter here will be displayed on the right hand side of your input values. Okay, and the meaning for this input values will be displayed on the left hand side. Okay, and if you see on the bottom of the screen, we have the list of function keys, but again, these functions are different from screen to screen, but there will be a common function keys which will be used across all the applications. As an example, F3 and F12. Okay, F3 for exit to the main screen, F12 to exit from the child screen, and F12 for more keys. This is also a common function key. If you have any hidden function keys, then you can press F24. If you want to see all the hidden function keys, you need to press F24, because on the screen it might not be uh, able to fit all the function keys on the single panel, because only we have to use only these two lines, the bottom two lines for function keys. So it might not be convenient to display all the function keys on the bottom two lines, so that's why we will keep some of the function keys on another footer screen. As and when you press an F24 function key, the second footer function screen will be displayed. Okay, so that's it. So what I'm talking about is work member PDM command. For the first time when you press an F20 work member PDM, these are all the previous value. Star PRV means whatever the previous name that you might have given here, the same value will be used here. Okay, since this is the first time we haven't, the previous value is 0, is blanks. Okay, so that's why we need to mention some value for the first time. The file is nothing but source physical file name. Since we are trying to create a physical file, all the physical file sources resides in a QDD SSRC source physical file. So we need to mention the source physical file name as QDD SSRC, and we know we have a library name called iDream 1, iDream 2, and iDream B. These are the three different libraries which will be created as and when we request our user profiles. Okay, so we got user profiles from that pub server, no? So in that email, if you see, we have three libraries. Okay, those three libraries are nothing but iDream 1, iDream 2, and iDream B. B will be treated as a backup library. You can use any library for your backup, but the thing is, iDream 1, the first library will be your default library. In this case, it doesn't mean that even in live also there will not be any first library, second library, or backup library. There will be one developer library, that's it. Okay, you will be having one developer library. If you have an authority to create multiple libraries, then it is up to you. You can have multiple libraries, multiple developer libraries. Okay, so if you want to create a library, if you know the command shortcuts, then CRT-LIB will be your command to create a library. Means we are trying to create one drive on Windows, so that kind of thing. This doesn't mean that if you type a CRT-LIB command on the command line, then indirectly it will create a drive on the Windows server. So this is only for the comparison purpose. Now there is no like if we do any drive creation or file creation, the same will not be reflected on the Windows side. Okay, so this server is different and that server is different. Okay, so coming to this point, if we use a CRT-LIB command on the command line, and if you don't know the complete command, always you need to press F4. If you know the complete command, you can type the command from the command line directly. Okay, only when, if you don't know the complete command, press an F4 function key, then it will ask you to enter the values. But here if you see, if you press an F4 function key, you got an error saying that not authorized to this command CRTLIB in the command in library list. It means you are not authorized to use this command. Okay, you just need to use the libraries which they have given. One moment please. One moment please. Okay. So we are not authorized to create any library in this server. So the other option we have is we need to use the existing libraries here. Okay, that's it. This is not needed to use that command here. I just want to show you how to create a library. Okay, so now we are in a PDM tool. Okay, and even if you come out from the screen by pressing an F3, okay, now you're on the main screen. Now if you type this work member PDM on the command line, now it will directly take you to the screen, because now you have this previous value. Okay, already we have used this source physical file. We have configured this source physical file in the work member PDM command. So that's why this value will be considered as a previous value. Earlier, before signing off, whatever the source physical file that you have used for the last time, so the same source physical file will be used as in when you come online and use this work member PDM. It will take you to the last source physical file that you have worked with. Okay. Okay, now this is done. See, always remember, PDM tool is nothing but a program development manager, and we are working with list of members. These members is nothing but source members. So whatever the files, whatever the sources that you have created, that will be listed here, and the source type and the member description will be specified here. Okay, these are all the list of options which are available in PDM screen, and on the bottom two lines you can see all the list of functions which are available in PDM screen. And now this is a command line. See, earlier on the main screen you can see this, here you can enter either a particular selection or else a command. Since this is a menu, we have a list of selection options. Okay, we have selections. So either you can enter this selection here on the command line or else a command. Okay, but on the work member PDM screen, Here you can enter either a parameter or else a command. Okay, now this option is different, so you need to identify this change as well. So now this is not a selection or command, it's a parameter or command. So we will come to that point later. And refer to my previous videos to understand what is PDM tool and what is this option stands for and function keys. Okay, so I will create one video on that. But for now, once you enter into the screen, and now this is the place you can create n number of sources for an object. As I mentioned earlier, we will be working with objects on a AS400 server. To create an object, we need to have a source. Okay, there are a few objects which can be created directly without having a source. Okay, those are exceptional objects, so source is not required. But rest of the objects, mainly we can say for every object we need to have a source code. Okay, so to create a source of a physical file, the best way is by pressing an F6. If you see, there is a function key called F6 to create. Okay, this is a command which is used to work with list of members. Those are all source members. On the screen we have an option called create. It means we can create a new source member using this function key. Okay, see, if you press an F6, you got a prompt mode kind of screen where it will ask you to enter some values. Okay, so if you press an F6, in the background system uses this command called STRSEU, means start source entry utility. So SCU is nothing but source entry utility. So this is a utility which will be used to enter your source code. Okay, on the PDM screen you can see all the list of source members for an object, and using this source entry utility you can enter your source code for an object. Source code. And as and when you get this prompt, press an F11, so it will be a bit easy to understand. So the input values will be in the middle. On the left hand side, the description of this input fields. Okay, if you see any arrows here, it means we have given some values. Okay, here we haven't mentioned any values, so that's why these places are blank. Okay, we don't see this kind of symbol listed here because we haven't entered any values, but still we haven't entered these values too. Okay, but system has taken these two values because system know these two values by default, because on this source physical file, on this library, we have pressed an F6 function key, so that's why it just picked up these two values without entering these values again. So the rest of the values which we need to enter is the source member that we want to give for an object and the source type. Okay, for physical file, let's say I want to create an employee physical file, and I want to give the value employee physical file name as EMP. So the source type of an physical file will be PF. Okay, and you need to give some meaningful name for employee source member. Employee master file. Okay, I've given this description as employee master file. Okay, that's it. Enter. Now this is your source entry utility screen. So this is your source entry utility screen. So once you come into this location, now this is your source entry utility command, and these are all the list of functions which are available on the bottom of the screen. On the left hand side, if you see all these dotted lines, this will be your sequence number. This will indicate how many number of lines that you have coded till now. Okay, so by default it will be like this. As in when you written any source code, then these dotted lines will be turned to a sequence number. Okay, so the first thing which you need to mention here is IPPF. So type IPPF and hit an enter key. So this is a place you have to give your the file structure. If you remember the source layout for creating a DDS for a physical file, so the mandatory levels to create a physical file is we need to have two levels. The two levels are, one is record format level and field level. Okay, so to identify record format level, the name type you need to give the value as R, and in the field level at least one field is mandatory to create a physical file DDS. Okay, okay, and always if you don't know the values, the possible values that you can give here, if you don't know those values, then press F1. F1 is a help key. It's a universal across all the softwares. Always F1 is for help. So once you press an F1 by placing the cursor in that particular field, then it will give you a separate screen where it will tell you what are all the possible values that you can provide in that field. So if you leave the field as blank, it means system will consider that field, either it will be a field level, leave the field blank to indicate it's a field name. Okay, if you're trying to enter any field name over there, then you can leave this field as blank. And in the same time, even if you leave the field as blank, that is for file level as well. Since we need to specify that file level about the record format level, that is how the system will recognize it will be a file level. If you mention anything next to the record format level, it will be a field level values. About a record format level, it's a field file level. Okay, so type an R to indicate it's a record format level, and K to indicate it's a key field level. Okay, that's it. Press F11, press F12 to come out from that screen. So here you need to type a record format name, and see, always remember, just try to follow the standards from now onwards. Okay, so whatever the file name that you have given, the file name which you have given is emp. So if you are specifying a record format name, it's better to mention the record format name as emp r, r as a postfix of your file name. So whatever the file name is there, you need to mention your file name here and r as a postfix of your file name. So this is how your naming convention for your record format. See, it doesn't mean that always you need to specify in this way. You can give your name or any other value that you want to. But since we are working for an organization, for a project, we need to work as an standard way. Okay. So as a project standard, this is how we will write this record format name. The file name followed by an R will be your record format name. So that's it. No other values are required to enter here. Once you enter these values and hit an enter key, now you can see your line is listed here and you got your sequence number. Okay, 000 1.00. Okay. So next to this record format level, we have a field level. For field level, we don't need to specify this name type. We can leave this field value as blank. But now you need to enter at least one field for creating this employee file DTS. So the field name I want to give here is, since we are creating an employee physical file, in an employee physical file, mainly we'll have an employee number. See, if you know WhatsApp and chatting flow, always if you want to type and if you want to greet someone like how are you, instead of typing how are you, it's a fashion, you will just specify HRU as a shortcut to indicate that you want to, that you are saying that how are you. Okay, in the same way, if you want to type an employee number as your field name, you don't have enough space to mention that complete description. So that's why you need to shortcut that words into small pieces, just like this. EMP Okay, EMP stands for an employee, NO stands for it's not no, it's an employee number. Okay, sometimes you can see the employee number naming convention as EMP num, or else num hash. Hash is also indicates like this, NUM, and macro indicate it's a number field, some kind of a number. Okay, that is also a universal naming convention. Okay, but now I will specify enum as an employee number, or else ENO as an employee number, and the length I want to give is around 6 digits to indicate it's a digit, yes, and 0 decimal positions. For an employee number, there will not be any decimal positions, so that's why the decimal positions will be 0. And for creating a physical file, no function keys are mandatory for creating a physical file DDS in any level, whether it's a file level, field level, or record format level, key field level. No functions are mandatory. Not this. Okay, so I hit an enter key, and now you can see your second line will be listed here, ENO 6S0. Okay, so now again enter another value. See, already we have met the required criteria, one record format level and one field level. Okay, if you're fine with this layout, then you just need to save this DDS and come out from the screen. Okay, but if you want to create more fields in it, you need to enter few more fields here. Okay, let's try let's try let's try to create this physical file DDS now. So once you done with your DDS, type save on the source center utility command line. Okay, so this means that you are saving the DDS. Okay, but if you want to save and exit from the screen, there is a command called file. So you need to type this file on the source center layout, then hit an enter key. Your member is being saved, and now you can see the member which you have given is EMP and the source type is PF, and the description of this EMP means employee master file. So since you are working for an organization, it's always mandatory to mention the description of a member. So that is how the people will understand what type of file that you're trying to create here. Okay, so that's it. On the bottom of the line, you can see one description saying that member EMP added to file Dream1 library QDD SSRC source physical file. Okay, see, now the hierarchy will be like this. iDream1 will be your library. Under this library, under this source physical file, you have an EMP as a source member. Okay, means in this drive, in this folder, we have created one file EMP, and that file type is, the source type of that file is PF. Okay, so this is how you need to relate with the Windows format. This is just for an understanding purpose. Okay, so now we are done with creating a DDS for physical file object. Now if you want to create an object for this physical file, you need to type option 14 as a shortcut. See, if you see, there is an option 14 listed here, 14 for compile. So as of now, just remember this 14 option to compile, and F6 is an function key to create a DDS. It will give you a provision to enter the values for creating a DDS of a physical file. Okay, so this 14 is an option to compile the source code, and it will check if there is any errors during the compilation time, and if there is no errors, then it will directly create an object. So if you press an 14 option here, now if you see on the bottom line, EMP file created in library, it means you have successfully created your object. Okay, now if you want to check if your object is created or not, we have a command called WRKOBJ, work with list of objects. Okay, always WRK means work with either a particular kind of thing or else a list of. It can be anything. Work with members or else work with objects or work with binding directories like this, and many more. So work with object. So now if you know the command directly, you can enter the command from the command line, the complete command. If you want to check the object which you have created, here is EMP. So by default the source member and the object name will be same. So this is a source member name, and during the compilation time there will be an option to change your object name, but we haven't mentioned anything, so the default object name will be same as your source member name. So that's why I'm just mentioning this object name here, WRKOBJ space EMP, and hit an enter key. Now if you see work with objects, so we are in the screen. Work with objects is a place where you can see the list of objects here. So this is kind of an search key. Okay, now you want to search for an object called EMP. If it is exist, then you can see that layout here like this, and if the object not exist, it will give an error message saying that couldn't find this object. Okay, so since this is listed, EMP is an object of type star file, and it is created in Dream1 library, iDream1 library, and the PF is a source type, and the description is same as source member description. Okay, and even on top you can see the list of options are available, and these options are different from WRKMBRPDM screen. See, always remember the options and function keys can be changed, but there are some common options and common function keys which will be same across all the screens. Only few options and few function keys, but most of the function keys and most of the options will be changed from screen to screen. You need to remember that. Once you are familiar with the screens, then no need to remember. It will be in your hands-on experience. Okay, so that's it. And if you want to see the output of this object means, so I have mentioned the frequently used commands, frequently used IO commands on AS400. So run query is a command which is used to see the output of your object. So run query, either this flower brackets, or else you can specify star n to indicate all the fields from the EMP file object. Okay, run query and EMP. Since I know this complete command, that's why I'm not pressing an F4 function key, and without using that system prompt, I'm just directly giving this complete command on the command line. So run query, I want to query this EMP object file using this command. Okay, hit an enter key, and now you can see this layout. We have created only one file. Even in that file we have only one field in it, so here it is, but we don't have any records added to this file, so that's why there is no records listed here. We just created a source code for a member. Once we compiled, system created an object, and we have checked that object existence by using an WRKOBJ command. Here we can see this object listed. So as and when the object is listed, then it is confirmed my object was there and it is successfully created. And using run query, I just executed that file to see what all the records are exist and how it looks like. Okay, so earlier I mentioned star n. Now this time we will give this value as flower brackets and emp, hit an enter key, so the output is same. Okay, we have only one field in it, there is no records. And now if you want to enter any records to this physical file, we have a command called UPDDTA update data. And even again I know this command, so that's why I will just mention this value directly here. Suppose if you don't know this complete command how to mention here, then press F4 and F11. It will ask you to specify a file name that you want to work with. UPDDTA means update data using a temporary program. So to run this command, we need to specify a couple of values. That is nothing but a file name called emp, which we have created. And I have created this object in which library? iDream1. By default, it will pick up that object from the first library only, unless until it is different. See, this is how it is configured here. But remember, it doesn't mean that if you don't specify this library, then system will understand where to pick up. Okay. So emp is a file name which I have created. This is not the source member name. This will be your object name. Okay. Emp and iDream1 is your library. Once you hit an enter key, and now you can see there is a mode which is an entry mode. Means since this is the first time and you don't have any records in it, by default mode will be entry mode. Okay, since you have only one field mentioned in your source DDS and created the object using that source code, you have only one field option to enter the values here. Let's say I just mention the employee number value is 10 and hit an enter key, 20 and hit an enter key, 30 and hit an enter key, 40 enter, 50 enter, 60 enter. So the values is user wish. I have given an employee number length as 6 digits. So within that 6-digit limit, you can give whatever the value you like. So 6-digit means starting from 0, 0 will be your default value for a numeric. Starting from 1 till 6 digits, maximum 6 values means 6 nines. So till that value, whatever the value that you want to enter, you can mention all those values. That is your wish. So once you're done with your entering the data in an object, you need to press F3 to come out from the screen. Now here it will ask you, it will give an information saying that number of records processed. So currently we just added those records. So here it mentioned you have added 6 records and there is no records got changed and no records are deleted. Okay, so that is true. And this is one more confirmation. Are you fine and with your data entry? by default it is y, so leave this value as s. It's true, right? We are end with the data entry, so that's why I'm just pressing an enter key. So now again, if you want to verify the data which you have entered in that file, means again run query. So run query this one on emp, and now this is how the data looks like. You have only one field created called employee number as ENO, and these are all the list of values for your employee numbers: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, that's it. So this is how your file looks like. The way of creating a physical file object is this way. Okay, then that's it. Once you're done, and if you want to come out from this session, so type 90 and hit an enter key, then you will be successfully logged out from your AS400 screen. So we have successfully created a physical file. That's it. So let me know if you are facing any issues while creating a physical file object, and we'll discuss. Okay, and if you have any queries during your practice, and if you need my help, and if you are fine with the comments which I have mentioned in the YouTube comment section, by looking at this comments, if you are able to understand the resolution, that is fine. Or else if you want to share your screen and try to resolve this issue, then the alternative way is try to install a team viewer on your system or desktop, laptop, anything. So we can connect and we can share that issue even on the live system. So that's how even others can able to understand, like when you have tried like this and you're getting this issue like this, and this is how we resolve the issue. So even others can able to understand. So that is how we can able to share the knowledge with others, because down the time even they might have come across this kind of situations, then they will know how to resolve the issues by looking at those videos. Okay, so that's it. We will continue this class tomorrow morning, same time at 10 o'clock. So always I will try to start this classes by 10 o'clock in the morning, and there might be at times okay, mostly at 10 o'clock. And in case if I'm on leave or not able to continue the session today, I will just try to make one small video for that particular day to indicate it's I'm not available. Okay, and keep searching for my videos so that you will get notified, and subscribe to my channel so that you will get notified as and when I upload any videos, or else anytime if I was coming in online, so that you will get notified. Okay, so that you can come online and we can chat. Okay, so that's it then. And even I want to put some graphics into this videos as well, so it will be a bit more fun while learning the subject. Okay, and share your comments even on that graphics also. Okay, that is just only for fun. um, Even I thought of one statement: learn while you play, learn while you play, and play while you learn. Is that caption is fine? Not sure. Um Learn while you play. So I thought of, even while learning something, you have to enjoy that concept. See, most of the time the people will sleep if I was talking on a particular concept, because the way of teaching is like this. My voice is also a bit slow, but sorry for that. mm, so that's why, to make you more energetic, I will keep some graphics kind of thing, so that it will give you some energy. Okay, okay, fine here. Have a nice day. That's all for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. Bye.